MMA fighters with Brazilian-style Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, and sambo are definitely synonymous with this technique. The submission technique is one of the important elements in the MMA world, where it seems that this technique must be presented in every fight. The submission can be done in the arm, leg, or neck area. Even so, this technique is also considered very effective when used by MMA fighters to immediately tap out. Here are 4 of the deadliest submission techniques in MMA. But before we continue, please subscribe and press the bell button so you don't miss other interesting info. 1. Hammerlock. This is Hammerlock. This technique has the same basis as that of the police in arresting criminals. This technique is a dangerous one because it can paralyze the opponent's shoulder. What is done in this technique is to put the arm behind the opponent's back, then press the wrist back and neck. The most famous fight when using this technique was MMA athlete Shinya Aoki when he defeated Mizuta Hirota. At that time, Shinya Aoki broke his opponent's hand because he refused to give up. Heel hook. Although we rarely see it, the heel hook is a very dangerous lock because of the after effects of experiencing the lock. A heel hook is an ankle lock by rotating the ankle joint with a crank on the heel. The result of this lockdown was excruciating pain. One of the fighters who are adept at doing this lockdown is Hammerlock. This former MMA fighter once made his opponent Don Frye very tormented because of his superior heel hook technique. Basically, Don Frye is superior to Hammerlock, but thanks to his expertise in this lockdown, Don Frye has suffered a severe injury to his leg. It is also what has made Don Frye become addicted to drugs due to prolonged pain. Twister. Twister means to rotate, where this movement begins by locking one of the opponent's legs with both thighs from behind. Then, the hand grabs the enemy's head and rotates it in the opposite direction to the lower body. Although we rarely see it, in fact, this submission twister technique has been used by many in big MMA fights. In the history of the UFC itself, the first person to defeat his enemy using this technique was the Korean Zombie. At that time, Chan Sung-Yoon managed to defeat Leonard Garcia with this technique and forced his enemy to tap out as quickly as possible. The basis of the twister lock itself is actually the submission of the spinal and neck cranks. That's what makes this technique very deadly, considering the spine and neck are very vital parts. Kimura. This technique has often been used by MMA fighters to win the fight and get the opponent's tap. Kimura itself is a movement to lock the arm by putting pressure on the opponent's shoulder. If the fighter does not immediately give up and tap out when he gets this technique, it can be fatal. This is what makes this technique one of the most dangerous submission techniques in MMA. Shinya Hirota is one of the MMA fighters who had shocked the world, where he was able to break Renzo Gracie's arm using Kimura's technique. Well, that's guys, the 4 deadliest submission techniques in the MMA world. In your opinion, which technique is the most lethal to defeat the enemy in a match? Tell your opinion in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share with your friends. See ya!